Hey babe,
Yeah.
I patched the front bumper on your Trailblazer. You want to come look at it?
Okay, I'll be right there. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I gotta drive this thing. How long is this gonna be on here?
Oh, just a couple of months.
Could be worse. Could be Cleveland Browns tape.
Hey, if you got a rip, you might as well rep. Go Tribe. Well, we've reached that time of the year where the leaves have fallen off the trees, the temperature has dropped, and the deer are out like crazy. As you saw, the title of this video is Oh Deer and a Hit and Run. So we're going to talk about some issues that we've had with our Trailblazer. This time of year, when the weather starts turning, the deer come out like crazy, and you got to be really careful when you drive your vehicle at dusk and at, well, pretty much any time of the day actually. And one of the ways that we express our love to our loved ones whenever they leave our presence and they're taking off in their vehicle is watch for deer. That's another way to say love you bye around where I'm from. Well, in all the years that we have lived at this home, we've hit a couple of deer, and I've hit one in my pickup truck. Came over a crest of a hill, and I think I was playing with the radio knob or something, and I looked up in the last second, and a doe had stepped out in the road, and I hit basically its neck and shoulder area and dented in my bumper on my pickup truck. And coming home from a football game a couple months ago, one of the fattest raccoons I've ever seen waddled its way out in the road, and I didn't see it until the last second. I slammed on my brakes, but I hit a raccoon with the front end of my Camaro. That front chin spoiler, I hit a pothole and tore that up. So that's not from the raccoon, but the flaked and chipped paint off the front, that's from the raccoon. Thank you, Roger Raccoon, for messing up my Camaro. So my wife was driving the Trailblazer a couple weeks back, and she had the kids with her, and it was nighttime, and a deer stepped out of the woods on the side of the road. It was too late. Pow. She kissed a deer with the front bumper of our Trailblazer. Well, my father-in-law holds the family record for hitting deer with vehicles, so I think he's around 10 or 11. Could be wrong, but it's up there. All right, so let's take a closer look at the damage. All right, so that's what it did. It still has the fur stuck in the bumper. We cracked our bumper clear down into the fog lamp area. Took out a pretty good chunk. Cracked that in several places. So the bumper is quite loose. There's a little peg inside here that clips onto the fender. This is all broken, so it doesn't want to stay. So this thing flops around pretty bad on the highway. If you're not going any more than 55, it does okay. But if you get out on the interstate, this thing really flaps. And that loud banging noise is what we hear inside the vehicle. It's very annoying, very loud. And I didn't really notice at first, but something in the headlight's broken. So that flops around too. So you guys already know, if you follow my channel, that I purchased this 2004 Trailblazer for parts. It's got good headlights and a good front bumper. So eventually what I'm going to do is pull the bumper off of this Trailblazer and swap it over to my wife's Blazer. And I'll probably just rattle can it, color match the paint, and just paint the bumper myself. So that'll be a project in the warmer months. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is just going to cover that bumper with some duct tape just to keep the wind out of it and keep it from flapping. I'm going to try to attach the bumper back to the fender. It's all cracked in there, so I don't know how well that's going to work. I may just duct tape it to the fender itself. With it being Christmas time, we're going to go visit some family out of town. I don't want that thing rattling the whole trip. Alright, so I mentioned another incident with this Trailblazer. This wasn't hit by a deer or anything like that. It was actually hit by another rare species of animal that you find in the Midwest, and that is the Jerko Maximo. Let me explain. Alright, driver's side rear of my vehicle. As you can see, we've got some damage to the vehicle. The bumper has split. A big chunk taken out of the top plate right here. The lamp is loose, and it took a nice chunk out of the lens. Got some scratching down this side of the bumper and everything, so it's pretty jacked up. It was involved in a hit and run. My wife and I had an appointment, and we parked our vehicle in a parking garage up in town. By the time we came back about an hour or so later, the damage was done. We got in contact with the security office at the parking garage, and they were able to capture the video of the person striking our vehicle and driving off on their closed-circuit TV cameras. So, thankfully, they were able to get a license plate number off of the vehicle, and that was great. I thought, cool, we're going to nab this guy. This wouldn't be such a big deal to me if the person that hit my vehicle would have just left a note and said, sorry, here's my insurance information, or here's my number, get in contact with me, we'll make this right. No note, no nothing. Damaged vehicle, hit and run. Boy, I sure like to jerk a knot in his tail. It just really burns my biscuits. So anyway, with the information I got from the security office, I went and filed a police report, and the police went ahead and ran the license plate number. The vehicle that struck my Trailblazer was like a Yukon or some type of SUV, and the license plate came back to a Ford Taurus. So the license plate was stolen, or the vehicle was stolen. Something's not right. So basically, there's nothing that can be done. I'm stuck with the damaged vehicle. Thankfully though, with that parts Trailblazer, I have a new tail light that I can put on here. I've got the bumper off of the other one that will replace this, no big deal. I'm replacing the front bumper because of the deer, and now I'm going to be replacing the rear bumper because of that stupid jerk from the parking garage. I hope he gets the worst case of hemorrhoids known to man. Alright, so I've got those two big things to deal with this Trailblazer, and the thing is, I had just gotten this truck all fixed up. We've been driving it for a while, and then that hit and run happened, and then not terribly long after, we hit the deer. You just can't keep anything nice around here. You've got all these animals that cross the road, and then you got those rare birds that hit your vehicle and leave you high and dry. That just really, that is just in my crawl, and it just really bothers me. Let me know in the comments below, have you ever been hit and run? Have people been kind and honest enough to leave a note? Have you ever hit somebody and left a note? Have you ever hit somebody and then hit the road? Interested to hear what your comments are in the comment section below. Alright, since we're leaving town in a couple of days to go visit family for the Christmas season, I'm going to pull some maintenance on this Trailblazer and rotate the tires. The front tires are a little worn on the inside from the bad ball joints and stuff, but that's all been replaced. If you want to check out the series of episodes that I made for replacing the front end on this Trailblazer, do check that out. I'll have a link in the description. So what I'm going to do is just take the rear tires off and swap them to the front. So front to back, back to front. And I'm going to check oil and all the fluids, and I'm going to try to patch up this bumper as best I can. So let's get started. Well, that was smart. Whoops. Well, if duct tape can fix anything, Cleveland Indians duct tape is that much better. My wife is gonna love this. I just rotated both rear tires to the front to the back. So next thing I'm going to do is check tire pressures and then go through the engine and check all the fluids, make sure we're good to go for our trip out of town. Well, my silly air pump quit working. There's a fuse in there and I just blew it. See, I just blew that fuse. I'm on it. Well, that kind of puts a damper on things. Oh well. I think my father-in-law's got one, I'll just borrow his. Alright, well the Trailblazer checks out. I've checked all the fluids, which I usually do before we take off on any kind of road trip. I check the engine oil, the transmission fluid, the brake fluid, the coolant level. I also check the wiper and the power steering fluids to make sure everything's topped off. I like to take time to do that and maybe stave off any kind of problem I would have had if I hadn't checked anything, because you don't want to have a problem when you're on the road. So I'll probably throw in some tools in the back of the truck and maybe a little extra quart of oil and coolant and all that kind of stuff. I like to make sure I have things that I might need if I do break down on the road. So the Trailblazer checks out to take our road trip to visit family for Christmas. So anyway, I'm also on the Instagram. I really don't do social media. It's kind of foreign to me. I'm not on that Snap Twit and Face Brag or whatever that's all called, but I do have an Instagram account. So if you want to check that out, you can get some kind of behind the scenes stuff, maybe get a little sneak peek of what's going to be on YouTube. So alright, so we're going to be starting 2019 before too long. So what's coming up in the new year for the Daninator channel? Well, I will say I've got a ton of things that I've been working on. I've done some recording. I need to edit videos. I'm just getting kind of behind on some things. You know, life happens. So I have a lot of content still that I want to get out. I've got some projects that I want to work on still that I haven't done yet. But I do have some news. But I can't tell you. I really want to tell you, but now's not the time. But all I can say is stay tuned to the channel. I was able to purchase something that I will be working on that does have ramifications for other vehicles that I own. It will affect the Camaro. I'll just say that. So subscribe, hit that notification bell. Got a lot of content still that I want to get out. There's a lot more coming to the Daninator channel. I really appreciate all the subscribers. I think we were pushing 15,000 subscribers, so I appreciate everyone that has subscribed. I appreciate all the feedback and the comments that you guys leave, and I do appreciate giving the videos a thumbs up. That goes a long way to help me out. There are a lot of things that I would love to do, and I'm sure you guys would love to see. Anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear if you've ever been hit and run, or if you've ever had major damage to hitting a deer or something. But give me your stories below. I'd love to see what you guys have to say. As always, God bless. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
I can't see it. Could be worse. Could be Cleveland Browns tape. I would have been out here sooner, but I started to burp. I didn't want you to get it on bloopers. Are you ready?
Yeah, I can see that. Hey.
Do me a favor. Just stand here like this, so I'll be loud from the beginning. Maybe this will be the last time.
Would you hurry up? I got a deadline. Oh, shoot.
I gotta drive this. How long is it gonna be, honey?